to my channel. My name is Alex Orr, and today I would like to send you this video from the Hall of Illusion, where I seem to have been living, or live sometimes, which perhaps we all do because of the digital age, but in my case, I keep doing this thing, and I don't know if I like it, and so I might stop, but I watch AI jazz cafe ambience videos on YouTube quite a bit. And one of my favorites is really bad. Like, it's really bad. I don't think the channel, there's got to be a person behind it, but I don't. The thumbnail is horrible. It's supposed to be Halloween. Look at this thing. I'm gonna put it on my screen. And if you're not watching, I'll describe it. It is quite messed up. It's full of flaws. There's a spider web, which is just in nothing. It's attached to nothing. The pumpkin faces are wrong. There are these lanterns that are in various stages of melting and dissolving into the picture, and yet I like it. I'm going to be honest. And it's good enough. I have found that it's good enough. What alarms me is not the AI image being horrible. It's that I'm okay with it. And I will put it on the TV, and like, it will be comforting as ambience to me. So in my head, I want to be the kind of person who rejects this. Maybe the version of me in my head is quite maybe older. I'm edgier, maybe. I have art books on my coffee table, and I don't dare listen to anything AI. I don't look at AI art. But the truth is, me right now, Alex, I look at these things and I am comforted by them. I think, oh, that looks cozy. My brain very quickly forgives the abnormalities in the thumbnail, and I just move on. What snapped me out of it was I was just listening to music on my computer, and it switched. I had reached the end of the AI jazz video, and it had switched to another song that I'd listened to a while ago, which is by Nancy Wilson. So when Nancy Wilson came on, I felt like somebody had, like, I was sitting in Plato's cave looking at nothing, and someone shined a light and was like, "What are you doing in here?" And I woke up and I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you. I need to go outside." Nancy Wilson was a bit of touching grass as far as my listening goes. It did make me realize that I soothe myself with banality, how do you say that word? With benignness. And this, on one hand, seems quite normal to me, because it's like, sometimes, is it normal? Well, this could be revealing. You know, when you read a really dense book, sometimes you just want to read like a webcomic. Like, you turn your brain off, turn your brain off. It's a saying that we use all the time now, turn your brain off. But I've been bothered by how often mine is off. I'm leaving it on sleep with my listening. I haven't been encountering anything new, haven't been in conversation with anything, and I've just been listening to this kind of nothing jazz. It's nothing, just it's background with these AI images, which are just blatantly a gross abstraction from the world. It's made in an attempt to kind of snag my attention. I find overall that I like things that are gestural and that I don't typically pay attention to details. I'm happy with the general effect of a thing. And so this goes for clothes and music and TV and all kinds of things. We are surrounded by discourse about the cheapness of things like our clothing and our furniture. And I understand that. And I feel specifically not like it's cheap, but I feel like I'm living in the image of real life. Like, there's paintings, original paintings, and then there's prints of the painting. And we would never value those things the same. There's the original. But the print, for many people, is good enough. It captures the artistic essence of the original. It provides an aesthetic experience. So I wouldn't call it cheap, but it is different, and it is the image of the object, despite it also being an object, but it's a print. I feel like I live in the world of prints rather than the world of the original. On my walls are printouts of prints of originals, etc. Cutouts of books which have reproduced an original painting, all kinds of things, because we are on a young people college budget, and so we don't buy art, we print art, we find art, and then we hang it or tape it to the wall. We're kind of at this stage of life. What I'm trying to say is that, like, this Kindle is a Kindle, it's an object, but it's an object that is meant to house the images of books, not books, but the story contained within the book is still captured by the image of pages. Very much like the print still captures the spirit of the artwork and is thus itself an artwork, but it is never the original. I've been trying to use this Kindle, and in many ways like the Kindle, but I can't do it anymore. I don't read this Kindle because I have found that there are consequences to living in the image of something else. I also do feel like I have a lot of IKEA furniture. I have a lot of things that I've acquired because I want like the print of a table. Really, I can't afford a table, so I have the print of a table, and everything is made very differently. It's mass produced because I need access, and people are craving a bit of democratized access to aesthetics. And so I might not be able to have real paintings or a real anything, but I can have the image of the thing and be quite satisfied And it's good enough. But I found that there are consequences. And the consequences have really not only the process by which things are made, the process has helped me differentiate, okay, an original handmade table is going to be different than an IKEA one that's made in the style of that one. But like with books, when I live in the image of a book, I can talk about the story and I can connect with somebody else who has read the book or the story, and we can have a connection. But in public, this is a Kindle, and no one will ever know what I'm reading, because I'm engaged with a different object than they are. They are engaged with something that is wearing the skin of the story. The story is now in a body, and so I see them holding the body of a story, and I know immediately what that relationship is. Versus this, people don't talk to me, and they don't ask what I'm reading. And especially being in a new city, holding physical books has been valuable, and it feels like good in my body. It does feel more real. So there's this challenge of like, this is cheaper, this saves money, this democratizes my world, I have access to more, but this feels like connection and has allowed more nuanced forms of real world connection than the Kindle. And I have found that I can't afford to lose any more realness, tactility, than I have already lost, by kind of living in a democratized, accessible world, unfortunately. I do think the digital and the image world allows you to play because it's lightness. It's financially more light. The stakes are not as high. With disposability comes, besides waste, also comes play and the ability to reinvent yourself, and to start over and to experiment and explore because of the lightness of everything, and that sense of it's not final, and things are in flux. But I will say, I want for myself a hard limit on how much of that I'm engaging with, because I kind of like the stakes being high. Like the Kindle, I can find a book and get the book, but the other day I wanted a book in Polish. I have the English translation and I want the original Polish. And I could buy that on Amazon, but I wanted to find it in person. And the stakes are higher. I have to go into these stores and talk to people. And I have to dig out what I can find in any given bookstore. I kind of like that. The wind outside is howling, and it pushes your body sometimes. And that level of reality and resistance, when you meet with resistance to something that you want, has felt in a sick way really good. And I think that means I'm in the cave, I am in the shelter, I am in my bunker. I meet no resistance when I want a book or something off Amazon. These images meet me with no resistance, as opposed to in a museum where they are at scale and I have to put up with somebody next to me taking a picture or craning around in my personal space. I've been a little fiend. I've been a little weirdo for resistance. And I think that's one of the consequences of living in the world of the primary, like the original worlds. It's not as easy, and the world of the image is quite easy. You're not as confronted by something that demands a lot from you. Like my IKEA table is very easy to put together, to move, to store. It is very lightweight. It's good. It's good for my budget, so it fits into my life. It's quite easy. And yet, it's good enough, as opposed to something which meets you with a lot of resistance, but is good, not good enough. It's maybe great. I want to add as well that my criticisms of the world of the image, like items that are less expensive and easier to come by, when I criticize them, I do not mean to say that the world of handmade clothing and tables gets 100% pass. The way in which we value things like art is also incredibly complicated and very silly. And the value that we've put on those primary objects at all should be questioned. So, if H&M sells a $50 coat that is meant to just be the image of a $1,000 coat from Prada or something like that, why we should question the Prada coat. We should question where that value in society and its dollar amount is coming from. But I don't live in the world of the Prada coat. I live in the world of the image. And so the consequences, those are the ones I suffer. Is the consequences of living in the image all the time and feeling like nothing in my life weighs a lot. Nothing demands anything from me. And I want the higher stakes of encountering Nancy Wilson, or a song that was made that could introduce me to a new idea, or give me something to disagree with, or think about, or distract me from my job. And I'm craving books instead of the Kindle, and I'm craving being pushed around by the wind and rained on, and all that kind of thing. I remember when I was in college, I read Society of the Spectacle, and I thought of all the billboards and advertisements and media, and I thought, oh yeah, and I understood that book that spoke to me in my reality at the time. But now I live in that well beyond like a TV commercial or an ad. I feel like the spectacle has gotten as small as like a trinket that I've bought from Amazon. It's gotten as small as like my little LED candles instead of a candle. It's just gotten tiny. It's like a microplastic. I'm surrounded by like micro spectacles. And they're sneaky and they're on YouTube. And I wanted to talk about how I've noticed that, and I'm trying to broaden my horizons a little bit, challenge my brain a little bit, because these AI jazz YouTube videos, I genuinely like them, but I need to stop. It's like Candy Crush. I had to stop. I had to force myself to stop playing Candy Crush. That was a moment. Both me and my girlfriend were like losing ourselves to Candy Crush during a particularly stressful time in our lives. And we had to be like, delete the app, delete it. And we are better for it today. So that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope to keep crawling out of the Hall of Illusions every time I find myself back inside. And I hope that you are also finding your mobility and able to dip in and out of various ways of living as it suits you. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will definitely be back very soon with another.